So episode 2 started with the scene where Miju and Sonu are having dinner at the restaurant. I mean, it's clear that Sonu is pretty happy with this situation while Miju is getting a little bit flustered. This whole scenario kind of reminds me of the first time Meredith Grey and Derek Shepherd met on Grey's Anatomy. They met at a bar, drank together, and slept together, and then the next day found out that they actually worked at the same hospital. Pretty similar, no? Anybody who watched Grey's Anatomy? But I guess in this case, Sonu is not married, unlike Derek Shepherd, who was actually married and then made Meredith his mistress. I like how honest and direct Sonu is too here, because I think he said a lot what's on his mind and didn't beat around the bush. He just like say it as it is. Unlike this Jin-sok, who's still trying to convince Chan-young to keep their relationship as it is. I mean, oh my gosh. But good thing it looks like Chan-young is trying to end things with him. But we'll see. I mean, it's like knowing that they have such a long history, like they've known each other for like years, right? It's probably not going to be easy for her to quit like cold turkey. So Miju ended up going over to Chan-young's place after her meeting with Sonu. I think she kind of knows like her friends are gonna have like a hard time tonight because she heard about the meeting from Jin-sok. They had beer. Chan-young told Miju what happened with her meeting with Jin-sok, and then Miju in turn told Chan-young about Sonu to cheer her up. It's nice to see that they can still celebrate the good times and the bad times of their life all at the same time. Because I do that too with my best friend. There were times when we hopped on a call and then I was having a bad day, but she's having a great day, and vice versa. And we just take turns to tell each other everything, even though our day was the total opposite. You probably do that with your friends too. Okay, so Miju ended up sleeping over that night at Chan-young's place. And then she found Chan-young staring sadly outside the window and ended up hugging her to comfort her. I think this is probably the most tender moment so far in this drama. And it's such a contrast too to their previous scenes where they mostly bicker with each other. And then there's also Miju's confession about having to take sleeping pills in order for her to fall asleep. That speaks volume to the amount of trust she has in Chan-young. And Chan-young's response was nothing but kind understanding, I feel like. The only thing she said was, go get some good dress abroad so you can sleep without taking the pills. Like, no questions, no judgment. I think Chan-young also trusts Miju enough to know that Miju knows what's best for her and will tell her if she needs help, you know? I think that's really nice. Oh my god. Jin-sok came to Chan-young's office to tell her to go to study in Paris. I mean, what? And then like ask her why he is so indecisive. At least Chan-young acknowledged that she's wrong for dragging this relationship for this long. But this guy is just like confusing. I think he's like confused with himself. I don't know. This is like Okay, so the three of them are now getting a health checkup together, and while waiting for their turn, they started to discuss about the interaction between Juhee and the owner of the Chinese restaurant. I feel in every group, there's always one person who looks at things in a more positive light, like Chan-young does. Like, oh yeah, like he is flirting with you and whatever. And there's always one person who will look at things in a more realistic way, like Miju does. But it's good, because then you get both perspective, right? Like, land in the middle. They ended up going to the Chinese restaurant after their health checkup and talk about how young the chef looks. So it's not just me. Apparently they also think that he looks a little bit young. But apparently for Miju, as long as he's less than 10 years younger, it's okay. That's a pretty big age gap though. It's like 10 years. I don't know if I can do 10 years age difference in a relationship. Maybe it doesn't matter when you're in your 30s and 40s. But yeah, I don't know if I could do that. Speaking of, I also recently heard that Gong Hyo-jin's boyfriend is also 10 years younger than her. So maybe it could work. Oh, turns out the customer with the oppa card that Juhee was helping earlier at her work came to the restaurant, and they assumed that she's his girlfriend. Is she though? I mean, yeah, she could be his girlfriend, or maybe she could be his sister too. No? Maybe? I don't know. But for now, I think we're settling with the girl is the chef's girlfriend. Also, I have a question though. Does this really happen in real life? Like when you go out with a guy and then the guy just gave you his credit card for you to use? Does that actually happen? I'm like curious to know because I don't think I've ever known anybody who actually experienced this. Have you? Or at least like, do you know anybody who have received a credit card from their boyfriend? Let me know. Also, a little out of topic, but this restaurant is so quiet. There's like no background music and it's just like people talking. And in reality, I don't think I ever dined in a restaurant that quiet before in Seoul. People usually put like at least some kind of background music in restaurant, right? But this is just like quiet and nothing. These two are so supportive. The moment Sonu tried to give Miju a lift, they immediately gave the location of Miju's parents' house and even like offered to type out the address for him. Great wing women. So Mihyun apparently told their parents about Miju's plan to go on sabbatical. I thought the parents is going to be against the idea, but apparently it's the exact opposite. Seems like her family is really nice and supportive about her plans, especially after knowing her condition of panic attacks. She must be like stressing about something. Their parents kind of reminds me of my parents too. So far, I don't think they ever like forbid me from trying something or from doing something as long as it's within reason. And I'm pretty reasonable most of the time, so maybe that's why, I don't know. But I'm actually pretty grateful because I get to try so many things because of the freedom that they like entrusted me while growing up. Like I know some of my friends have like really strict parents and sometimes they don't really have a say in certain things. But yeah, I'm just like grateful that my parents are pretty supportive in what I do, I guess. Oh my gosh, this dude, Jin-seok is actually visiting Chanyeong's house now. Like, I'm not sure if he's just trying to be clingy or he's really just checking up on Chanyeong or want to make sure that his actors will still be able to work with her. Maybe all of them, I don't know, but this certainly doesn't make it easy for Chanyeong to move on. At least he didn't put that meat on top of Chanyeong's rice. A little progress. I don't know. So Sunwoo's sister finally made an appearance and their relationship seemed to have an issue we don't fully know yet. Also, Sewon, the sister, being all secretive about her roommate and where she lives is a little bit suspicious. My theory is either she lives in a place that's not exactly like nice, not a nice neighborhood, like in Goshiwon or Jimjilbang or something. Or she lives with her boyfriend, maybe. We'll see. This late night cab at the office over wine looks like a somewhat significant progress for Miju and Sonu's relationship. Looks like Miju is starting to let her guard down and open herself more to Sonu. And I was right. Sonu already liked her since he saw her in front of the flower shop. So that's before they went to the noodle restaurant. The three of them running around and trying to get Miju's phone is so funny. It feels like back in high school when your crush or like one of your friends' crush texted and everybody just like curious and want to know what the text is, you know? This is kind of adorable. I think Sonu is really trying hard to convince Miju not to go and he's being a little whiny right now. Probably because he's drunk. And the tone of his confession is a little unexpected. Like, it's pretty ridiculous. But I guess it's kind of cute too, because he's like drunk and everything. At least he calmed down a little bit in the end. But it's obvious that Miju is still unconvinced. The moment after Sonu said, I didn't get those to apologize, you can clearly see like the awkward tension between them. And then the way Sonu fidgets and trying to hold back his smile before he said, it's to finish the confession I started yesterday. And then he awkwardly like left the room. He must have been pretty nervous and embarrassed. I mean, like, I am a little bit like embarrassed for him. Oh, apparently between Chanyeong and Juhee, one of them has stage 4 cancer. What I'm wondering right now is why the doctor called Miju first instead of the patient. Is it because Miju is his friend? Is there no such thing as HIPAA in Korea? I don't know. This is like weird. Okay, so it turns out it's Chanyeong. The funeral was for her. And then instead of going to Chanyeong, Miju actually went to Jin-seok and blamed him and herself for Chanyeong's condition. I mean, I guess I kind of understand. If I found out that my friend has a terminal illness and don't have a lot of time to live, and that friend has been wasting her life on something meaningless that I have introduced her to, I probably would feel guilty too. So the second episode ended with Miju breaking down on the floor of Jinsok's office while Sonu is trying to comfort her without knowing what's going on. And that's it for episode 2. I think the first 2 episodes were good. I enjoyed watching them. I love the characters and the dynamics between all of them. There are also enough variation in the storyline that keeps things interesting. I mean, obviously, I think I'm gonna continue watching this drama and see where it leads. But for this review, it's not a review. For this reaction video, I don't know what this is. For this video, I think this is the end. Let me know if you enjoy watching this or if you have thoughts or additional comments that you want to share with me. I'll be interested in reading them. Let me know if you want to see more of this kind of video. Anyway, thank you for watching.